This is for Cameron. Cam. The prodigal sons, if you count Neil Brown, who I think a lot of Tech fans probably have a soft spot for as well. But it's all about Graham Harrell, the all-time leading passer in program history. You're talking about a guy that racked up 15,611 total yards, 134 touchdowns. That 2007 season, 5,705 yards. We all know the famous play to Crabtree down the sideline, where you just absolutely dashed Texas's hopes. So I was arguing with some people earlier this week, only in the college sense. Do you agree with me when I say Graham Harrell is the greatest quarterback in university history?
I think this might be unpopular in Texas Tech circles even, but I think that Graham Harrell is the best quarterback, certainly, that Texas Tech has ever had. And I would say that he's definitely up there in terms of in college football history. The stats speak for themselves. I think really the only thing missing from his resume would be back in the day, like a BCS victory. And, you know, in 2008, Tech was primed to go to a BCS bowl and ran into the buzzsaw in Norman after, beating Texas and Lubbock, which was the Crabtree catch. And I would easily say that he's the best quarterback in Texas Tech history. And yeah, like I said, that might get me, canceled amongst some Texas Tech fans because everyone wants to ride on the Patrick Mahomes train, which is fine. But I definitely think Texas Tech wise, when he's in school, I definitely think that Graham Harrell is easily the best that Tech's ever had. And definitely I would rank him top 5 at all time.
Absolutely. And just to clarify, I said university history, not all time. So, yeah. But all time, I still rank him up there top 5, no doubt. He's probably not the greatest college quarterback ever, but he's in the discussion of all-time quarterbacks when you bring up Graham Harrell and what he did, and even Cliff Kingsbury before him, right. Which is, kind of been your all's motto over the years. You guys just bring in super talented quarterbacks. Texas Tech is going to have a playmaker at the quarterback spot. So Roderick Thompson's going to be there for 20 years. Adrian Fry is going to be there for 20 years. And we're going to play him week in and week out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember I think back to 4 years ago. I remember the kid, Adrian Fry. He's still there. Yeah. We still got to play him again this year. So Roderick Thompson, who scored like 5 touchdowns against us, we play him again this year. He's going to make a season out of playing against the Mountaineers, it seems like.
Absolutely.
So, we've got a couple teams that are 3-3. If you look at it on paper, you would say these teams are heading in opposite directions. But I don't see it that way, and I don't think you do either. We talked a little bit before the show, and while Texas Tech has lost a couple of games, you guys have fought, and you played really good football teams. You played an O'Leary-led NC State team on the road with Tony Gibson leading a really salty defense for that group, and just short. Donovan Smith plays a whale of a game down there. Then even more adversity comes. You guys play an Oklahoma State team who is at the time being talked about for a college football playoff spot, and you bring in this kid Baron Morton that few people that follow college sports had probably heard about at the time outside of Lubbock. And all he does is throws for over 330 yards and almost beats a really good Oklahoma State team. How do you feel the Texas Tech fans feel about the overall season so far?
I think that anyone with regards to Texas Tech can look at the season so far as a definite positive. I think that if you went to any Tech fan before this season started and said that we would have played 5 straight ranked opponents, 5 out of the first 6 games were against ranked opponents, and you're going to be 3-3 after 6 games, I think any of Tech fans would take it, me included. And just to be in those games. Like you mentioned, these are games that, again, no disrespect to previous coaches of Texas Tech or anything, but I think that these are games under previous coaching staffs that you get blown out by 28, 35 points easily. And you look at them now, and we're right in these games, and just to compete. And it's a nice change of pace from what unfortunately had become the norm in Lubbock over the past 7, 8, 9 years, which was we're going to score a lot of points, but I can promise you that your team will score more points.